Hi everyone, this is William from the Headphone Experience, and I'm here tonight with my first impressions of the Kennerton Wodan. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, maybe Wodan, I'm not sure, but anyway. I've had this headphone for about 2 days now. It's on loan to me from Kennerton Audio, and they are out of St. Petersburg, Russia. And this headphone currently sells for $2,479 in US dollars. It is a wired, full-size, over-the-ear, open-back design. It uses an 80mm planar magnetic driver. It has an impedance of 38 ohms. It has a sensitivity claimed by Kennerton of 106 decibels at 1 milliwatt. Kennerton claims a weight of 480 grams on this, and my kitchen scale came in real close to that. I actually weighed in at 477 grams, just slightly less than what Kennerton claims. It uses a detachable cable, and it is 2 meters long. It has 4-pin mini XLR connections at the ear cups and uses a standard 6.3mm or 1/4 inch single-ended plug at the amp end. It's very soft, it's a nice material, it's flexible, doesn't make any noise rubbing on itself. Pretty nice cable. The headphone itself, the ear cups are carved out of one solid chunk of curly maple, and I've never seen a design like this that actually has wooden grills, and those are all the same piece. This is, just machined out of this piece of wood here. Uses a flexible steel headband, and it's got enough twist that it fits pretty good. It uses a self-adjusting head strap which is covered in real lambskin leather. The ear pads are also real lambskin leather, inside and out. They're tapered, as you can see. They're thinner at the front, thicker in the back. And you can also see here the 4-pin mini XLR connections that I mentioned a minute ago. As far as build quality and materials, like any Kennerton headphone that I've seen so far, the build quality is absolutely exceptional. Not a flaw anywhere, and the materials, like I said, real wooden ear cups, lambskin leather. Materials are top notch also. Getting into fit and comfort, this headphone weighs in at 477 grams, which isn't light, but it's not heavy either. That's kind of average for a full-size over-the-ear headphone. And putting them on, like I said, the strap adjusts itself to the right size. The ear pads are big enough that you've got room to move them around a little bit. They're very comfortable. They don't touch my ears. My ears don't touch the inside of the cloth in there or anything. The weight's well distributed. The pads are very soft, very comfortable. And to be honest, this is among the most comfortable headphones that I've worn. I can barely feel them on my head, and I don't think I'd have any problem wearing these for hours on end. As far as equipment I've used so far with these, like always, I use CDs for my music. I use a Cambridge Audio 540C CD player as a transport only, running into Benchmark, Media, DAC1, and then running analog from there to my amps. And right now, I'm primarily using the Headamp GSX Mini and the Audio GD Master 9. And this headphone does come with the single-ended cable, but I have a cable I can use with these with a balanced connection, 4-pin XLR. So I did use a balanced output from both of these amps and wanted to get the best possible, signal to evaluate this headphone. So anyway, my music, like usual, I use a combination of rock, pop, some electronic, a lot of acoustical, especially with female vocals, and a little bit of orchestral music. And I've got probably, I would say 3 or 4 hours in on these headphones, maybe 5 so far. I've actually put some time in them in the last 2 days because I really enjoy listening to this headphone. So anyway, the tone balance I would describe as very close to perfectly flat and dead neutral. Maybe just a slight emphasis in way down in the sub bass, not in the bass, but in the sub bass. I'd say there's maybe about a 3 decibel emphasis, just enough to give the sub bass a little bit of weight and make it really noticeable. The frequency extension is very good on both ends of this headphone. I don't hear any roll off at all at either end. Very good sub bass, and the treble reaches high and doesn't seem rolled off at all. It doesn't seem bright, but it doesn't seem rolled off either. It seems just about perfect to me. The bass, like I said, a little bit of emphasis maybe in the sub bass, and the bass has pretty decent weight. It sounds good to me. It's not a bass head headphone. If you're a bass head that just wants a ton of bass, probably isn't the headphone for you. This is a neutral, very well balanced, very accurate headphone that is going to be best for acoustical, jazz, orchestral, that sort of thing. If you're looking for a really bassy headphone for electronic or something like that, this probably isn't the headphone for you. But anyway, the bass is very tight, very well controlled, and just very pleasant. The mids, once again, well balanced, very neutral, and very present and very forward. This is not one of those headphones where the mids are set way back, or way below the bass or the treble or anything. The mids are, kind of in your face. They're right there, and especially female vocals, very upfront and very present. The treble, like I said, it's very clean, it's very clear, it's crisp, it's sparkly, but yet it never comes across as harsh, and it doesn't seem overly bright at all. So very well balanced treble. The clarity and detail are what really stands out about this headphone, though. Like I said, only had them a couple days. Excuse me a second. But what really stands out about these headphones, and my very first impression, is just outstanding clarity and detail. I mean, up there with the best I've ever heard at any price. Possibly the most detailed headphone I've ever heard, but I'm going to have to spend some time in the next couple weeks comparing these to a few other headphones and, get back to you on that. But maybe not better than anything else, but these are at least as detailed and at least as clear as any headphone I've ever heard to this date, and like I said, regardless of price. Just incredible, the amount of I mean, I guess you could call them analytical, but it's a good analytical. It's not, there's no harshness, and it's just so clean and grain-free that it's just it's extremely enjoyable, and just hearing small details that very few headphones can reproduce. The imaging seems to be very good, very precise. The instrument separation seems to be very good. The sound stage is quite large on these. They have a very wide and very deep sound stage. There's real good layering to the different layers of the distance on the sound, and one of the best I've heard in that respect too. Normally planar magnetic headphones are not real dynamic, and from what I've found, in most cases the dynamic driver headphones just have more punch and they're more dynamic and the sounds hit harder. But so being a planar magnetic design, I wasn't expecting a real dynamic headphone, but so far this is seeming to be one of, if not the most dynamic planar magnetic headphones I've heard, especially in the mid-range. Just real good you know, real punchy sound, very, very dynamic. Female vocals are something else that really stands out, and I realize that's, you know, kind of in the mid-range, and the mid-range is kind of forward and present on these, but female vocals just are sounding so real with these. I mean, just maybe more so than any other headphone I've heard. The female vocals just sound so, they're just so detailed that they just sound so real. I mean, I feel like I close my eyes and I feel like the person singing is just right in front of me, just singing right to me. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, the realness of it. I did want to compare these to one headphone a little bit, and over the next couple of weeks I'll compare these to several different headphones to give you an idea. But I did pull out the Kennerton Magni, which is one of my favorite headphones, and it's a lower price headphone. It's $769, something like that. But I awarded it Headphone of the Year last year because I think it's the best deal in headphones at this time. And the things I like about the Magni is very, very well detailed and a very good frequency extension and an exceptional sub bass. Probably the best, not the most sub bass I've heard from any headphone, but the best quality sub bass. And this headphone has a very similar tone balance to the Magni, even though the Magni is a closed back. This has that same extension and that same really great sub bass that I like about the Magni. And the detail on this in the mid-range, which is really, really good on the Magni, but it's even better on this. This goes a step beyond the Magni, and I realize it is 3 times the price, so it should. But I mean, it's another step up in detail from the Magni. And the biggest difference is the Magni, being a closed back, has a relatively small soundstage, and that's the only thing about the Magni I really don't like. But this has a much bigger soundstage, much wider and much deeper, and a lot more layering to the soundstage. So this is kind of like, you know, if Kennerton were to make a, you know, unlimited, you know, a Magni that, you know, no cost, you know, no price limit, whatever. If they were going to make the best Magni possible with an open back, I think this is what it would sound like. So just, like I said, I'm really enjoying this headphone so far. So what I'm going to do is spend, you know, probably 2 or 3 weeks with this, put a lot of listening time on it, try some different amps. I'm curious to see how this is going to sound with the Felix Audio Echo Tube amp, and which will probably warm them up a little bit. Right now they're pretty much dead neutral. The Felix tends to, you know, give headphones, especially in the mid-range, a little bit more warmth, and sometimes gives them just a little bit more bass. I'm curious to see how it sounds with that. Also, I want to do some comparisons to some other headphones. I definitely want to compare this to the Kennerton Roar, and whatever I have, you know, I've still got the 3 Spiritorino headphones, so I'm going to try to compare this to whatever I can. Spend, you know, as much time possible with it, maybe see how it reacts to a little bit of EQing, even though I don't think it needs it. I mean, in my opinion, the tone balance is just about perfect on this, but I like to see, you know, how it reacts to EQ, because not everyone has the same taste, and you may want to adjust it a little bit. So, and some headphones respond better to EQing than others, so I want to look at that, and like I said, try some different musics and just see what this headphone's all about, and get back to you in probably 2 or 3 weeks with a full review, and you know, just dig in deeper and try to give you some you know, examples of, you know, some different music, how it sounds and all that. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up now. So once again, this is William from the Headphone Experience. If this video has helped you, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you are all welcome to join us over at the Headphone Experience on Facebook. We're up to almost 7,300 members now, which makes us, I think, the third largest English-speaking headphone group on Facebook. So come over and join us and check it out. There's a lot of good conversations and a lot of information and a lot of people in that group that have a huge amount of knowledge. I mean, some of them have a lot more knowledge of headphones than I do, so I learn things there every day. So anyway, I will see you soon with my next video. Thank you for watching.